Now let's move on to the downtime, and that's going to cover the time when you found it or you heard about it. And could you explain that? What was going on with that?
I pretty much know.
I'm going to go to the other side here because I think it'll help me. Yeah, just like that. Okay, go ahead.
I pretty much know the history of this car from the beginning because I was involved with Woody and Woody cars and McEwen, as we were all from Garden Grove area.
Right.
And this car, after McEwen quit racing it, he sold it to Lee. He sold the car in Texas because of his touring.
Right.
A guy in Texas saw it, wanted to buy it when he wanted to sell it.
Right.
He sold it to a guy in Texas named Glenn O'Neill.
Okay.
And Glenn O'Neill bought the car, was partners with a guy, raced it locally down there for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Glenn O'Neill decided to move to California.
Yeah.
And he gave the guy his motor back.
Right.
When he gave the guy his motor back, he brought the car out to California.
Yeah.
And Glenn O'Neill started a business out here, and he became friends with a guy named Kenny Logan.
Okay.
And he had the car, but he had no motor. Well, Kenny Logan had a brand new Keith Black motor, and he got together with Glenn O'Neill and said, well, let's put my motor in the car. I'll drive the car, and we'll go race it.
Right. That sounds reasonable to me.
And that was good enough. And so they did. So they got it together and got it running and took it out to Irwindale on a Saturday night. Car ran pretty good. First round, they raced a guy named Chuck Flores, who was from Northern California.
Yeah.
And Chuck redlet the first round, and Kenny wanted to get a time slip because he needed some time on the car.
Right.
And he ran down through there, and here comes Chuck Flores on fire.
Oh, geez.
Oiled in, can't see what he's doing, and he drives right over the top of the car.
Oh, man.
So that kind of ended that picture. And after that point happened, Kenny Logan says, well, he says, I will take this back over to Woody and we'll get a new front end put on the car and we'll get back out there. And Glenn O'Neill says, no, let's don't do that. He says, I'll order one of them new rear motor cars because it looks like that's the wave of the future.
And what year about was this about?
I'm going to say 70, 71.
Okay.
And yeah, 70 to 71, because that's about when the changeover started.
Right.
71, the changeover, the Garlits came out in 71 with the rear motor car.
Correct.
And that pretty much started the movement. And so they parked the car.
Right.
And along comes Leland Cobe,
Yeah.
his son, who's about 18, 19 years old.
Right.
He goes, at that time, he says, well, I'll buy the car and I'll race it locally with a small motor in it, whatever.
Right.
And so Ron Cobe buys a car.
Right.
And he races the car. He has a front end put on it by another fella.
Right.
Races the car locally with a small block Chevy in it.
2-speed glide kind of situation? Or
Power glide kind of a deal.
Okay,
one of those bracket cars.
Sure.
And because we had a lot of bracket racing back there, at that time we could race 4 nights a week at various tracks within driving distance.
Yeah, and do you think did they modify the roll cage, or did it stay the same?
No,
with the
it was all the same,
wow.
Pretty much, because those rules in the roll cage were in effect.
Okay.
At that time.
All right. Very interesting.
So Ron Cobe races it until he gets too big. He can't fit in the car no more.
Okay.
So he parks the car in his garage. At that time, he got married and he was living in Buena Park, California.
Right.
And he parks it in his garage. And it sits there for probably 20, 25 years in his garage while he builds another car, an Alter, that he can fit in. And that's what he did.
Okay.
And he says, well, I'll keep this car for my kid when he gets older. Wow. And we'll put him in the car.
Wow, okay.
And so it sits in the garage for, let's say, 25 years at least, maybe, whatever.
Right.
And about 5 years ago, somewhere around that time, 5, 6 years ago, I met Ron Cobe at a metal place where we were buying metal for the day, and he says, hey, Mike Cool, he says, I still got that old car that I got, one of McEwen's old cars. And he says, I'm probably going to sell it because my kid don't want to race it. And I go, well, yeah, okay, let's go look at it. Come to find out, he lived about 3 miles from me, I go over there, and lo and behold, here's the car. And I said, well, let's get together on a price. So we get together on a price. And I said, okay, I'll come next week and pick it up. And he says, well, I got a problem. He says, Kenny Logan, the guy who owned the car before me, he's shown interest in it. I said, fine. I'm not going to get in the way of that. So I said, you call Logan and tell him to come and get it.
Yeah.
So he calls Logan and says, if you don't buy it, I'm going to sell it to Cool. So Kenny gets all excited, and he comes down from Spokane, Washington, and he picks the car up.
Oh man. Okay, all right. The plot thickens.
So Kenny calls me 2 days later, and he says, Cool, I'm sorry, I took that car out from under you. I said, you didn't take it out from under me. You had first option. You took your option.
Right.
What can I tell you? I said, the only thing I can tell you is if you decide you want to sell it, give me first option.
That sounds right.
So anyway, time goes on. A couple years later, Kenny calls me up and he says, Cool, I'm in trouble. I need to sell that car.
Right.
He says, I haven't done nothing with it. It's just like you saw it. And he says, I'm needing to get rid of it. I says, okay, let's make a deal. And he goes, well, furthermore, he says, what I have found is I have found the original Bolus trailer that car was towed in. When McEwen built it brand new, Bolus was one of the premier manufactured professional trailer builders.
And how many did he make?
He made 22.
22 of these trailers, and he kept a record of it?
And he kept a record of all these trailers. And I contacted the Jack Bolus guy, and he sent me a itemized list of all the guys that bought these trailers and the numbers of the trailers. So now he got my attention.
Yeah.
So
the combination is coming together here.
I worked a deal out with Kenny Logan for the car and the trailer.
Right.
And here's some pictures of the car.
And these were where everything was pulled outside and spread out, so you could take some pictures.
This thing was pulled outside. Kenny Logan sent me these pictures of the car,
right?
As he had it, because he took it and he started to rebuild it.
Right, and there's the old upholstery sitting there, the motor plate.
There's the parts. There's a set of tires and wheels, brand new set of Halibrands with brand new M&H's on it.
Oh.
Built these tires were put on this wheel in 1968 or 69.
Oh.
And they were so old that the tires were so cracked they wouldn't hold air.
Yep.
It was something.
Wow.
Anyway,
that's a great recovery as far as I'm concerned. That's the best.
Here's some more pictures of the car.
Complete with dust. Complete with 25 years of dust, probably.
This car was virtually untouched from the motor plate back. It was in absolutely perfect condition.
Wow. That's great to hear.
Set for many, many years. There's more parts, more pictures, and more parts of it.
Very good. Okay.
And so I made a deal with Kenny Logan, and I went and picked up the car and the trailer. And somewhere here we might have a picture of
you do at the very bottom. You'll see it.
There we go. There's the trailer. That is the original Bolus trailer, professional built trailer for professional touring racers.
Now that's
it had a door here where a spare motor went into,
Yeah.
and it had a hoist thing up on the rack that was part of the trailer, and you swung this hoist out, picked your motor up off the rack here, and put it in your car.
This was a deluxe. This was a deluxe trailer back then, correct?
This was the premier trailer of all. To be honest with you, I wanted one so bad I could taste it, but
22 of them only were built.
Finances were at the time weren't there to be able to purchase something like that.
But this is like the white icing on the cake.
Oh,
you put the car in this,
and
take it someplace, and the people that really understand it will really appreciate the trailer as well as the car.
Oh yeah,
right.
Here's a picture of the rear of it.
Yeah,
I think we got a picture. That's the nut part of the rear of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that, yeah.
The trailer was in great shape for as many years old as it is, and how much down the road it's been.
Yep. Right. And that's
you can see the hoist and all that sort of stuff. You know?
And maybe you can open up the door and I can take some shots of it. Not at this point, but because we got other things to do. But I appreciate you going over the history of the car and who did the work on it to restore it besides yourself. You took care of the motor.
I took care of the motor, and I took the frame to Fred Hayhurst, who's a local guy.
Right.
Okay. And he finished the frame and put it all back as per the way I felt it was, because I know a lot about these old Woody cars.
Right.
And then he also built the body. The thing is,
it's a beauty.
90% period correct.
It's a beauty.
As far as being ever it was. And I did the motor, and we have now since got the thing running, and it is a Cackle Fest car at this point.
And I see a sign over here that says for sale on it, so that's something for everyone to consider. If
I got some more projects I want to tackle, and this is kind of more or less in the way.
Yeah. Well, it's a true beauty, and it's a real genuine piece from the old days.
Genuine.
That's been redone, refurbished, and is ready for the Cackle Fests. At Pomona and Bakersfield and back east at Bowling Green, and it could probably go to Indy. I mean, there's all kinds of things and all kind of places the car could go with the right experience and ownership, and that's something that all has to be worked out. But what a gorgeous piece you'd have if you decided to purchase this. I mean, I just am so happy that it's back with us now, and I hope that the owner will take it out and share it with everybody, because it is.
Well, the thing is,
correct.
If worse comes to worse, this thing will wind up in one of the museums, either NHRA's museum or Don Garlitz's museum,
right,
or one of the local museums.
That's great
There's
for people to see. Yeah,
many areas that this car can go.
Good.
All right, here we are. We have the original helmet that I got from McEwen. We had the helmet redone, okay?
Yep.
And this is pretty much, you can see it's got fresh stripings on it,
right,
you know, but it's old Bell helmets that they had way back when.
And that's just another piece.
And that's part of the
a great piece to this whole package.
Part of this whole
makes
thing,
it wonderful.
You know?
So, thank you very much. Excellent.
You're the guy with the license. Huh? He's the guy with Whoa! That's the jack. That's the jack.
All right, the other way, Pete.
Pete, the other way, bud. Good job.